Hello everyone, I'm Raven from Raven Comics, and today we'll continue with the story of Future's End. As with the rest of the series, I'll leave the playlist in the description of this video, along with the name and issue numbers of the comics this video is based on. Let's start with Firestorm. Let's remember that in the previous chapter, Ronnie and Jason argued after Green Arrow's death. Jason wanted to separate, but Ronnie wouldn't let him. Now they've gone their separate ways. Soon, they'll be heading to a party, but before they go their own ways, they need to talk. Jason isn't feeling well. He was trapped for weeks and missed his final exams. Because of his partner, he may have lost his internship and perhaps even his education. Jason begged Ronnie to let him out, but he never listened. Essentially, he was held hostage. He had no life, no time, and hasn't been able to achieve several of his goals. Ronnie gets angry and says it's Jason's fault because if he freed them, he would have betrayed him by telling the Justice League that they were late because he was with a girl. Jason retorts that Ronnie doesn't care about anyone or anything. If they had merged in time, Green Arrow wouldn't be dead. To Ronnie, that's all lies. Since becoming Firestorm, he's had to pay a heavy price for all of them. What hurts him most is losing his mother and not being able to do anything to save her. They're both fed up with this, and Jason swears he'll never let himself be put into the Matrix again. Ronnie says that's fine. He hasn't wanted to be Firestorm for a while now. This is the end for the two of them, forever. Later, Jason is at school. Dr. Yamazake asks him where he's been all this time. They've been looking everywhere for him. Jason simply says he had a family emergency and lost his phone. The doctor needs to show him everything he missed while he was away. They've made significant progress on the project. You see, a long time ago, there was a war in which the doctor lost his wife. The same war where Ronnie lost his mother. They were trapped at the top of a building, which is why they're now working on a teleporter. The Justice League already has one, and the doctor thinks it's unfair for only them to have that technology. While Jason was gone, the doctor made great strides in the project, but now he's on the verge of an incredible discovery. What the gods kept secret is about to fall into the hands of man. Not even Mr. Terrific's technology compares to this. Meanwhile, in New York City, a group of 3 is outside Terrific Industries. Their mission is to enter the building and steal Mr. Terrific's new technology, called the U-Sphere. They need to do this before mass production begins. Coyle doesn't want to go through with it because he's not being paid enough, and the building is very well protected, basically a fortress. Plastique tells him it looks like one of those places they can get into. This job isn't as hard as they think. Coyle is still unsure. Inside, hundreds of electromagnetic fields are generated. It's like entering a constantly self-reconfiguring maze. He can get them in and keep them in place. Once inside, he can disrupt the fields long enough. The real problem isn't getting in, it's getting out. Plastique tells him not to worry about that. She'll handle the escape. Nearby, Terry is without his suit. Alfred has noticed something familiar about these characters and has started a physical scan since they seem to have cyborg-like tissues. Terry isn't sure if this is good, bad, or just a coincidence. Alfred overheard them saying that having blueprints of the building's interior would make things easier. Apparently, this group is here for the same reason Terry is, to enter Mr. Terrific's building. Inside, Mr. Terrific is reviewing recordings of this new Batman. But something is off. Recently, a homeless man appeared across the street from the park the day after the new Batman was recorded. His height and body weight match suspiciously well. Because of this, Mr. Terrific will personally deal with his new friend. We then find ourselves in a bar with Lois Lane. Remember, at the end of the previous chapter, she received a letter with some codes. Based on her deductions, the letter led her here. She meets Red Robin, Tim Drake, who is supposedly dead. The boy, who is supposedly Tim Drake, denies it and says he has no idea what she's talking about. He insists he's not that person and has never had anything to do with Batman. The boy escorts her out of the bar and asks her never to return. Lois tells him they'll talk again someday. He can count on it. After she leaves, Madison asks him if it's true that he was a Titan. Supposedly, all of them died in the war. The boy just says that Lois is a reporter chasing ghosts and fake headlines. He advises her to ignore Lois Lane and all her crazy accusations. Later, we're at Lois Lane's office. She mentions that the problem with running America's most read website is that she doesn't have time to follow up on her own stories. The box she was given earlier still holds several secrets. She needs to figure out what it all means, and she'd better do it soon. Back in New York, outside Mr. Terrific's tower, Coyle is still refusing to enter the building. The security system learns from its mistakes. They might get in, but as he's already said, there's no way they'll get out. Terry was wandering nearby, dressed as a homeless man. The group is still arguing, and Terry spots a $50 bill, acting according to his role. Unfortunately for him, Mr. Terrific is right behind him. He's always known that homeless people have a nose for money, but this one in front of him isn't homeless. Terry immediately dons the Batman suit. Alfred warns him that direct contact with Mr. Terrific right now will get him into trouble in a public area. A battle ensues as parkgoers watch. Batman is knocked down by a powerful blow from Mr. Terrific. The fight is tough for Mr. Terrific, and he has no choice but to use his technology. Batman dodges and takes the chance to land a kick. Alfred recommends evasive action immediately, but Terry hesitates. In that shopping cart is the cyborg that followed him from the future. He can't let anyone get their hands on it. Mr. Terrific's security team has surrounded them, leaving no choice but to retreat from the battle. Plastique's team was about to escape, but she decided to stay, as something caught her attention. Mr. Terrific gets back up and mentions that he's fine, though something in front of him intrigues him. The cyborg that had followed Terry turned out to be Plastique, the same one who's here now. Terry has made a grave mistake by leaving her in this place. In Metropolis, Lois Lane continues her investigation. The intelligence specialist confirms that the numbers on the letter are map coordinates leading to the middle of the Indian Ocean. However, there's nothing there but water and sharks. Someone sent her the box with mysterious objects for a reason. The first clue led her to Red Robin, but he refuses to accept his reality. Further investigation is necessary to uncover where all this leads. Meanwhile, in New York, Dr. Yamazake is about to activate his new machinery. With this, they could surpass Mr. Terrific's technology. He places a photo of himself and his wife inside the machine. Jason detects that power levels are stable, but rising faster than anticipated. The receiving tube is locked onto the image plate, and materialization is underway. The process exceeds power levels and risks spiraling out of control. The doctor refuses to stop, but the plate cannot withstand the transport and is destroyed. Jason cuts the power before the entire lab explodes. The doctor doesn't understand. The computer simulations indicated it would work. It should have worked. Jason regrets what happened. The doctor suspects his partner miscalculated, failing to account for the machinery's increasing power. Jason explains that he did account for it, but the energy levels were still too high. Suddenly, Superman pays a visit. Firestorm has missed the last 2 Justice League meetings. Jason explains it's because Firestorm no longer exists. When 2 people share one body, things are bound to end badly. The partnership lasted as long as it needed to. Superman asks if Jason has been busy building a teleporter. These devices resemble those of the Justice League. Jason insists he'd never take anything from the League. Superman shrugs it off, saying it doesn't matter since the experiment just failed. Superman then asks if Jason has ever wondered whether the negative might outweigh the positive. He hopes Jason can resolve things with Ronnie. Firestorm is needed. Jason refuses, asserting that Firestorm will never return. The end is near. In the Indian Ocean, Lois continues her investigation. The coordinates lead to a location where there's nothing. No islands, no ships, nothing of interest. It's time to head back. Otherwise, they'll run out of fuel. Yet there is something there. It's just invisible to Lois and the plane's pilot. Meanwhile, at Mao Prison in Metropolis, Madison, the girl Tim was with at the bar, is visiting her father. Her father knows a lot of secrets and betrayed his nation, which is why he's in prison. Madison is curious about what happened earlier with Tim and asks her father if he knows anything about the Teen Titans. Their conversation is interrupted when someone breaks one of the glass walls. Rampage has arrived at the prison, intending to free a prisoner named Ethan. Ethan asks who she is, and she says she's a friend he's never met. Madison is caught in the middle of the escape attempt, so Rampage strikes her aside. Someone intervenes, declaring that enough is enough. Superman has arrived to stop the breakout. A battle ensues, with Superman attacking first and Rampage retaliating. If Ethan wants to escape, he'll need to play his part too. While he can't do much about the fight, he can grab someone. Madison is still in the midst of the chaos and could serve as the distraction they need. Rampage grabs her and throws her into the air. Superman speeds up to save her, giving Ethan and Rampage the opportunity to escape. Superman wonders what Rampage could possibly want with a lunatic like Ethan Boyer. At Terrific Industries, Mr. Terrific is fascinated by the discovery he made earlier. Whoever built this cyborg is using technology he's always dreamed of. It's biotechnology he's theorized about for years, capable of curing cancer by replacing it with self-healing synthetic cells. This is nanotechnology akin to Ebola falling into his lap from a random vagabond's card. Brother Eye asks if it could be a remnant from the Earth counterpart he once mentioned. Mr. Terrific finds it unlikely. If that were the case, he would have encountered himself in the past. Brother Eye cannot assist him. He's only here to observe, but he's confident Mr. Terrific will figure out the cyborg. After all, he's the smartest man in his world. We shift to Batman from the future. His goal was to return to the past to prevent Brother Eye from being built. Unfortunately, they've arrived too late. According to Alfred's data, Brother Eye was deactivated after the Earth 2 war. For some reason, no one in their future is aware of this. Brother Eye controls the media and, therefore, history. Their future proves the satellite was reactivated. They must prevent that from happening. To do so, they'll have to infiltrate Terrific Industries. Last time didn't go well. This time will be different. Previously, Alfred was his only assistant. Now he'll go in with a better armed team. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more content like this. I'm TJ Prime, and see you in the next video.